Okay, let's go with the show on the road, everybody. We're going to now, this is the final opening session of the pitches. 3 minutes each, questions from judges, last 6 startups. Tomorrow you will see the semi-final, right? The quarterfinal tomorrow afternoon. In the morning we'll be having some fantastic panels and sessions. But tomorrow afternoon after lunch, you can come back and you can see who got through. But tonight, in the bar, obviously, we will be announcing who got through to the quarterfinal. So please join us at 7 p.m.? So that's tonight at, 7 p.m., cocktail reception in the hotel bar, the hotel lobby. You'll find out who got through to the quarterfinal. Okay. Put on movie voice. Who got through to the quarterfinal? Okay. Are we ready? Yes. Final 6. Let's go. Let's hear. 3 minutes on the clock. Come on up. Moi learning. From Chile. Come on.
All right, hello everybody. My name is Carlos Huerta and I'm a neuroscientist. Our platform, Moi Social Learning, is a free-to-play tool focused on children 5 and up, basically elementary education. What it allows is for each kid to be able to grow their own tree, and in this tree, every fruit is a concept. So each kid starts out with a very small tree. It's called gray, and then as they learn the contents that are inside this fruit, their tree grows exponentially, so it can grow up to 200 fruits. We have over 1,100 contents, and our engagement average is about 60 hours per week, and our top users are using the platform over 220 hours per month. The way we monetize our platform is we sell an analytics and rewards platform for parents and teachers. So basically, parents and teachers can get one-click reports. They can send multimedia messages, establish rewards, and create tests for individual users or for group users. So far, we've deployed to around 7,000 kids in both Ecuador and Chile, and we've sold about $25,000 with this model. The problem that this solves is effectively we've opened access for any kid that wants to use or to learn everything that they want or need 24/7 with absolutely no cost. The way that we're getting this out there is kids can now, through our platform, win scholarships to really high quality schools and devices that they can use to learn better. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. So the other monetization that we have is we've managed to sell our technology to private businesses that want to socialize their content and validated data. So we sold to a university, to a bank doing financial training, and to a company that just focuses on doing socio-emotional learning. So they're all using our technology to be able to basically get their information out there and get the data for much less cost than it would be to have people on the ground or other technology solutions. We're looking to do a new iteration of our platform and basically make it look like a AAA game, employing Thanks, Mike. Yeah, basically a game engine and AI to do content crawling and a little bit of update of our database. If anybody wants to know how to deploy a free trial in your region or school, please talk to us at growmoi.com. We'd love to tell you all about it. Thank you, guys.
Well done. Well done. Any questions, judges?
What's the part that's Moi? I mean, is it the motivation by fruit growing, or what aspect of it is the Moi platform?
So the idea is as you develop your tree, you learn how to learn, you develop yourself. So basically each kid gets to choose how they develop this tree. And depending on the contents that they learn, their tree shows that. So when the platform is used, like in a school setting, in about 10, 20 minutes, each kid has a different tree that shows their interests and aptitudes. Yeah, and that can be easily validated through our parents and tutors platform, just on one click, and the parents can then basically see what the kid has been learning during the day, talk to them about it, reward them for it, and it's completely easy for them. Like, they don't have to look at a report card. The validation is right there in the graphic, the tree, and yeah, it just saves time for the parent and increases the engagement of the kid because they can control what they learn, when they learn, and it's available for them all the time.
Hi. So this is used in class?
No, it can be used whenever. We consider a bridge application between in-class learning and out-of-class learning. And yeah, now we have Spanish content, but we're coming out with English content in the next month, and also our mobile application. So we're probably going to expand the user base that we have around tenfold.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Just let our judges have a minute, a few seconds to gather their thoughts. Okay, right, let's get up now. Let's hear from Nigeria. Scholar X, come on up, sir, 3 minutes.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bola Lawal, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Scholar X. It's safe to assume that in this room, a lot of you here are able to be here because you got a good education, because you got access to financing. In a country like Nigeria, with over 180 million people, which 50% of the population is 18, average population is 18 years old, and unemployment is within that age bracket unemployment within that age bracket is 50%. Through dwindling wages and a lot of issues with economic inequality. Now, so people can get access to quality education and upskill. So Scholar X is operating at the intersection of education and finance, where we connect students with funding opportunities to help them get a better education and skills. We started off with a scholarship aggregator app, which helped over 1,000 students get full scholarships, and we have 5,000 students actively use the platform every month. Now, we're taking it to the next level by adding a feature called Skills Fund. Skills Fund works in 3 ways. One, connects students with funding through our machine learning powered platform where we screen the students, high performing students. We match them with training partners, and we also match them with placement partners to help them get a job. The business model is an income sharing agreement, which they pay the funds back once they get a good job. And a portion of it goes back into the skills fund, and a portion is revenue. And we can help loan the next student, and the next student, and the next student. Now, we believe that we're the best thing to do this because this is something that, this is not just a problem that we thought about. It's something we've been a part of. We know this problem, and we are really going to solve it. And within the next few months, what we're looking to do is help students. We started with 100 students in the pilot, and then do another 1,000 through the partnerships that we are forming. So we are currently in talks with USAID and DFID to help put some funds into the Skills Fund. We also got a $10,000 grant from Google, which will help put in the Skills Fund. So our mission is to help put students on a better life path by connecting them with funding opportunities, which will help them get a better job and better career. Thank you.
Questions from judges? Any judges who haven't had a chat? Go for it, sir.
Yes. The students who get opportunities of funding for their further education. So would this be university education?
Yes, so high-level students, high potential students in the university, and some of we can extend it to recent graduates who are in between jobs but need to upskill to get a better career to move forward in life.
So how many have benefited so far?
So the new model, we just started a pilot, and we have 10 students that we piloted with, and they're with a partner called University in Nigeria. And 4 of them actually have gotten they're learning front-end development, and they've already gotten full-time job offers. And we hopefully, and we raised the fund on our platform. We crowdfunded the fund, and we put it into sending them into learning front-end development and JavaScript. And once they're able to get a job, they'll be able to put the funds back into the skills fund, and we'll be able to lend on the students. So what we are doing really is commercializing philanthropy funds and also low-sourced funds to be able to help students, because the next billion, as we all know, is in Africa. And they're not going to be able to participate in the global economy if they don't have skills of the 21st century to help them move their career forward.
Okay. Thank you very much, Scholar X. Just let the judges gather their thoughts. Okay, let's hear now from our next startup, Ed from Argentina. Round of applause.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Agustin. I'm from Argentina, and I'm the founder and CEO at Ox. I would like to start this presentation with a short story because I believe it explains the reason why I'm here with you today. Around 8 years ago, I was able to visit a rural school in Argentina, a building in the middle of the mountains where an amazing headmistress, teacher, father, mother, cook, mechanic taught 6 amazing children. And that's where I met Adelita. Adelita at that time was 10, and she couldn't read or write. And seeing Adelita suffering because of that was something very hard for me to face. And I think that Adelita represents why we're all here today. And since that day, I've visited hundreds of educational institutions, and it didn't matter if they were private or public, if they were rural or urban. There were kids suffering because they are part of an educational model that doesn't understand their needs and struggles. There are teachers needing tools to better cope with the personalized learning, And there are educational institutions that are trying to find ways in which they can help their teachers and students in more meaningful ways. That's why we have built Woombox, an online-offline educational platform for kids between 4 and 12 years of age. The platform contains thousands of fun, interactive resources with which the teacher can teach and the student can learn while playing. There are 3 main characteristics that make this platform unique, scalable, and sustainable. The first one, we built tools so that they develop specific skills and content in fun, interactive ways. Basically, what we tell the students is a story they care about, in which they are the protagonists. Second, the platform measures in real time each student's interactions and adapts according to each student's needs, ensuring personalized, adaptive learning. And finally, we have built a sandbox, enabling teachers and students to create their own interactive content. We believe that in this ecosystem, in which collaboration and adaptive clash together, we can ensure not only scalability, but personalization. So you will ask me, is there a big market for this? I would say yes, because I'm here, yes. And talking about numbers, Latin America has over 300,000 educational institutions, more than 4 million teachers, and more than 45 million students. Our model is a B2B model, subscription-based. Our clients are institutions and governments, and our users would be the teachers and the students. They pay between $2 and $4 per month. And since our launch in March 2019, we have reached more than 45,000 direct and indirect users. And we have reached, and this is like our Medal of Honor, 100% retention rate of our paid users. I'm happy to say that I'm part of a very diverse team of engineers, graphic designers, animators, pedagogical experts that work every day to ensure that every kid has access to quality education. And we're proud to say that we have helped Adelita and hundreds of other kids to learn how to teach, how to read, how to write, and to reach their full potential. Thank you.
Judges.
So you said that you have 100% retention of paid users and that you've taught a lot of kids to read and write. What's your, what evaluation are you using to assess learning gains in reading and writing?
Okay, so we're touching a very sensitive thing. You know, measuring learning is quite a sensitive topic. What we do is basically each one of the tools that we build, they're basically learning games. They have a set of variables that measure the achievement of that specific objective. And what we do is each one of those different games and tools interact with each other, and that's the way we assess continually how the kid is learning. So that's, I don't know if that answers a little bit of the question.
I'll pass it on to someone else.
Tell a bit more about the sandbox. Are the sandboxes linked to each other?
Well, the sandbox kind of was an accident, I will tell you that. The big question that you might be asking yourself is, well, the problem of this platform is content. How do you ensure to generate all this amount of content? And the sandbox was an answer to that. We weren't coping with the speed of the content that we needed to generate, so we decided to give the driving wheel to the teachers and students. The sandbox is kind of a Roblox kind of logic. Do you know Roblox? It has like small, different kind of creation tools that we call blocks, and each one of them allows them to create different type of content. Let's say trivias, interactive videos, interactive books. So each one of those enables them to create the content. That's how it works.
Great. Thank you very much, Oxhead. Just let the judges gather their thoughts. Okay, let's hear now from Pakistan. Sabak, come on up. Sabak, hear it.
All children are born curious. They have an inherent desire to learn, to explore, to discover. Naturally then, schools should be places that inspire a sense of learning. But sadly, that isn't the case with most schools in Pakistan. As per a recent study, students in almost 80% of the 250,000 primary schools are suffering from poor quality teaching and low resource learning conditions. The two biggest reasons that contribute to 22 million children that are out of school in Pakistan. With teachers failing to captivate students' imagination, children are simply disengaged and unexcited to learn. And millions more will fall through the cracks into the abyss of generational poverty. Enter Sabak. Sabak is an edtech company on a mission to make learning seriously fun. Muse, Sabak's flagship product, is an Android-based kindergarten to grade 5 digital learning solution. Using the power of storytelling and captivating digital content, Muse turns rigorous, curriculum-aligned primary grade lessons into a fun and engaging digital world that ignites kids' passion for learning. Muse has over 1,500 lessons, from kindergarten to grade 5 for math, science, English, and Urdu, covering all of the major topics. With its adaptive design, teachers can use Muse on a smartphone, on tablets, or a smart TV in almost all learning conditions to deliver fun and engaging digital lessons. Muse is a B2B subscription-based model that offers two packages to schools: a class license for $45 for the entire year, and an individual student license for $7 per student per year. This year, over 1,000 schools are currently using Muse in their classrooms, and going forward, we're on our way to tap to 2,000 schools, reaching a little over 250,000 students. But that is barely scratching the surface, guys. Because in Pakistan, there are 100,000 private schools and even more government schools where 15 million children are learning in primary grades. And over 90% of these students are learning in low to mid-cost schools where student learning outcomes are extremely poor. That is our addressable target market. Muse lessons are currently in 2 regional languages and will soon be in English, and that will allow us to scale beyond Pakistan. With my co-founder, having scaled several non-profit and for-profit enterprises, we believe the team has the capacity to push the envelope. And the reason that I got started is very simple. I was sick and tired of seeing Pakistan at the bottom of literacy and human development index, and I had to do something about it. With storytelling that caused the cognitive revolution among Homo sapiens around 80,000 years ago. And we use the same concept of storytelling to engage children and help them uncover their inner genius. This is what I do, and I want you to help me tell my story on Sunday in front of a bigger crowd.
Nice pitch. Okay, questions?
So sometimes there's an idea that fun and engagement will make the medicine go down better. That you can make learning fun and engaging and that'll make it successful. And I'm curious whether you have a theory or a perspective on how the learning happens through stories and fun and engagement.
So the way we've designed the product is when we started around 3 years ago, we brought a team of academic experts, but we also brought storytellers and people who were really good at creating and writing books. And we got them to come up with concepts that help students to learn math and science using contextualized problems. So for instance, if you were to teach perimeter, a grade 4 math concept, we talk about a farmer who has a problem of buffaloes running into the fence. And then he can't find a reason to stop it. And the little girl, his granddaughter, helps him understand that if you build a perimeter, it would solve the issue. And that's where we introduced the concept of perimeter. So that is one example in a way that could help and improve the understanding of kids and get them to understand how the math concepts would be applied in an actual context.
Thanks.
Hi. Did you say that you are already testing this with some schools?
Yes.
Sorry, I missed that part.
Yeah, we are currently in 1,000 schools. And one of our major partners, a representative from that school, is also available in the crowd.
So how's it doing?
You can ask them, but we had a third-party evaluation study done by Coffee International that proved that intervention schools showed 110% improvement in math and literacy as compared to control group. That happened in 2018.
Great. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sabak. We'll just let the judges gather their thoughts for a second. Okay, now let's hear now from Tanzania, Mtebi. Come on up, sir.
So, it's easier for you to find a person with a mobile phone in Tanzania than it is to find a student with a textbook. Out of 10 people in Tanzania, 7 of them have a mobile phone, but one textbook is shared among 10 students. Now, the thing to think about is this: what happens when this student goes home? How do they prepare for an assignment? How do they prepare for a quiz? How do they just go about their self-studies? The next thing you would think about is they should probably download an app or visit a website, but then that is still a challenge because internet penetration is really low, not just in Tanzania, but if you zoom out and look at Africa, it's only 35% of the continent that has internet penetration. So what are we doing about it? We believe that good innovation is one that uses a technology which people already have, can afford, and know how to use. And so because of that, we created Mtabe, which is a platform that provides offline e-learning support to students who don't have access to internet or smartphone or textbook. The way that works is a student simply goes to the messaging area and they text the question that they have. And once that question comes to us, they will receive the answer on their phone. Now, the question is, how long does it take until we support these students? Right now, 70% of the questions that we get answered within the first 10 seconds. The main reason we have achieved that is because we use artificial intelligence through natural language processing, of which is able to analyze the support that the student needs and gets it to them. Now, this is something that we have observed from over 10,000 questions that we have received so far. Now, again, I said it's not just about the technology, it's also about the people. And we did a survey among parents. What are some of the challenges that they are facing with technology? Now, one of them was cost, and rightfully so, because in a country like Tanzania, nearly 50% live under $1.90 a day. So if we were to charge them, that would be against the very reason why we exist. So how do we make it affordable while at the same time generating revenue? What we did is we have partnered with the leading mobile operator in Tanzania, Vodafone, who through this partnership, they have removed the cost from the students, and they have decided to bear that on their end. So that way, students use this service for free, while at the same time, we get to generate revenue. But apart from that, we work with the educational authorities in Tanzania to approve our content and make sure that it is something that the students can enjoy and learn from. And so that is what we are doing at the moment. Our next stage right now is to launch a new service called Mtabe Voice, of which will work via voice without, again, needing the internet. A student will simply call, and if they have vision problems, then it's even better because they get to learn, and these are some of the people who are marginalized. So right now, we're just very keen to develop partners who can help us grow and so that we can take this even further. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions, judges?
Hi.
Hey.
One quick question. The model is they post a question, you give them an answer.
Yeah.
How do you know they're actually learning?
Okay, so what we do is once a student asks the question, once they register, we ask them in the level of understanding they're at, and then after some months of usage, we ask them whether they think the platform has improved their learning or not. because with SMS, you cannot embed buttons, things that you can use to gauge. So we do that pre-survey and post-survey. Yeah.
What age of students do you target? Are they primary school kids? Are they high school kids, university, or all of them?
They're secondary school students.
Secondary school.
Yeah.
And when you say you're using AI and NLP, does that mean that you're choosing from a database of answers?
We're choosing from a database of content. So we don't have a series of questions and answers. We just have a vast content that has been developed in alignment to the curriculum, and then we fetch from there.
So you're fetching modules, you're fetching pieces that are already put together.
Yeah.
Great, that's workable.
Fantastic. Thanks very much, Antabi. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this is our last startup of the day. Don't forget, at 7 p.m., join us in the lobby bar to find out who goes through to the quarterfinals of the competition. Join us for a drink. We'll be announcing it there. There'll be 12 quarterfinalists. And ladies and gentlemen, this is our last startup for the day. Give them a big round of applause. And this is our only startup from the MENA region, which is, sorry about that. Here we are in Dubai. But we set a bar very high to get into the competition. So 3 minutes, off you go. Praxi Labs.
Good evening, everyone. With all the current challenges we are having in the world, like global warming, the need for clean water, and hunger, it just seems inevitable that we need more scientists to work on solving these problems. However, unfortunately, last year only, more than 2.4 million jobs went unfulfilled in the US alone. So imagine the rest of the world. And the major reason for this shortage is dropout rates of STEM students, which is now reaching almost 60%. One of the causes for this is that traditional labs as we have them today face many challenges. For students, there is the lack of motivation and engagement, as well as restricted accessibility. On the other hand, universities do suffer from the very high cost of lab construction and maintenance, let alone safety hazards and ethical challenges that they need to overcome. I'm Khadija, the founder of Praxi Labs, and I'm here to tell you how we are solving these problems. Praxi Labs was founded to provide 3D interactive engaging simulations for science students to be accessible anytime, anywhere, at an affordable cost with no concerns to safety or ethical challenges. And it's great to know that studies have shown that using virtual labs, students became more proficient and familiar with the surroundings, leading to an increase in their performance by 60%. And their retention by 80%, both of which resulted in decreasing the dropout rates, which is our main problem. But that's not the only benefit, because the increased proficiency of students also resulted in requiring less time in the real lab and using less consumables, two factors affecting the spending on a lab, which on average reaches $300,000 a year. So we are also saving money for universities. And in return, we simply take an annual subscription fee depending on the number of students and the number of experiments. In only 1 year, we got 10 education institutions using our labs, benefiting more than 20,000 students and resulting in over $280,000 in revenues. We are currently the first mover in the MENA region, leveraging on our competitive advantage as we provide our simulations in both Arabic and English. And the opportunity is huge to reach thousands of universities across the globe, especially that we help both types of universities. Those in developed countries to improve their students' learning outcomes and retention, but also those in emerging markets, which might not even have a real lab. And that's where we see our greater impact to provide an equal opportunity for science students everywhere. Our team has years of experience in EdTech, marketing, and sales, and I myself have a PhD in human-computer interaction. That's where I'm getting my passion for Praxi Labs. We are finally currently raising funds to speed up our expansion and growth. So please come talk to me afterwards if you're interested in joining us on our mission of providing the world with more scientists. Thank you.
Thank you. Great pitch. Fantastic. Questions from judges?
That's a lovely pitch. Thank you. I'm wondering about the availability of the strength of computer that's needed to run a 3D simulation in the schools that you're talking about, in the region you're talking about.
That's a good question because we've just tried that in a pilot with the Supreme Council of Universities in Egypt. So it was for 21 different faculties of medicine in Egypt, in different governors. So it's actually in different cities, in different communities. And they only require a computer of up to 4 gig of memory, which is really fine now. And that's about it. So we don't need a big processor, for example, the normal processor. We only need a memory that's almost good so that it can run the simulation. Once the simulation is actually loaded on the computer, it runs in the client side, so it doesn't even need an internet connection. So if the connection is off, the student can continue and keep running the experiment and keep practicing for hours.
That's great. Do you plan to move it to mobile or to tablet?
Actually, now we have it native for Android and iOS, but we do not recommend the mobile size because it's very small, so the touch will be difficult. We recommend using an iPad or a tablet, so that size is fine when we use it.
Any other final questions? Okay. Thank you very much. Practice Labs. Okay, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for seeing all of our startups pitched today. See you in the bar at 7 o'clock. The judges will now be deliberating. We're going to sort of sit them in a corner or something. So we hope you had a nice time. Join us tomorrow on the Next Billion EdTech Prize stage for some sessions in the morning and the finals in the afternoon. Thanks very much.